we're going to be looking at the rules of exponents. The first rule is the product property. Product property states that when we multiply terms that have a common base, we add the exponents. Then we have the power property. Power property states that when we raise an exponent to an exponent, we multiply them. The third one is the quotient property. When we divide common bases, we subtract the exponents. The fourth one is the zero property. Anything to a power of 0 is 1. And the last one is the negative property. When we have a negative exponent, we flip it. So if it's in the numerator, it goes down to the denominator. Or if it's in the denominator, it goes up to the numerator. So looking at our first one, we're multiplying. So we're going to use the product property. Before we do that, we know that 3 times 8 is 24. And then since our bases are the same, we add the exponents to get 9. For the second one, we do the same thing. We add the exponents, so that would be x to the 6th. And then if we don't see an exponent, we know it's 1, so that would be y to the 4th. For letter C, negative 2 to the 4th would be 4 negatives, and that would be positive 16. And then we multiply 2 times 4, which gives us 8. For letter D, we do the same thing. 3 to the 3rd is 27. We have x to the 3rd because 1 times 3 is 3. And then 3 times 3 gives us 9. So that right there is our first property and our second one. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at our third one, which is going to be the 0. Anything to the 0 is 1. Anything to the 0 is 1, but since the 9 is on the outside, 9 times 1 gives us 9. Our fourth property, we have a negative exponent. It's in the denominator, so we bring it up, and it becomes 4w to the 2nd. For L, a negative exponent, we bring it down. This is a negative value. It's not a negative exponent, so it stays in the numerator. And then we just bring the x down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at division. Remember, with division, we're subtracting the exponents. Here's 4, here's 5. That means there's more x's on the bottom, so we put an x. Here's a 3, here's a 2, so when we subtract it, that would be 1. Since there's more on the top, we put the y on the top. So it's y over x. Now for this one, since that's a negative, we're going to bring it up, and it becomes a positive 5. So that would be x to the 6th. This right here is a negative, so we bring it down. It becomes a positive 4. So that means that it's y to the 7th. For this next one, I'm going to first simplify the inside. So 4 and 6 reduce to 2/3. I have a negative exponent, so I bring it up, and that becomes x to the 7th. Both of these switch, so it becomes y to the 5th over y to the 3rd. And when we subtract them, there's more y's on top, and that would be 2 more. Then I'm going to square it. When I square the 2, it becomes a 4. When I square the 3, it becomes a 9. When I square x to the 7th, it becomes x to the 14th. And then when I square the 2, it becomes 4. And that right there is my answer.